In the final hours of his presidency, Joe Biden issued preemptive pardons to several critics of President Trump and members of his own family. CBS News Chief Washington correspondent Major Garrett asked Florida Democratic Congressman Jared Moskowitz if he agrees with that move.
I'm not a fan of these pardons, right? I wish he didn't feel that he needed to do that. But yeah, this will play right into the communication message that the Republicans have been doing for 2 years. They were never trying to impeach Joe Biden. They never had the votes for that. It was all a charade. I proved that in committee. But this goes right into their messaging that, oh, the Biden crime family, he had to pardon them. He clearly felt the need to pardon them because the Republicans were going to continue to be relentless in the House for the next 2 years. And he was worried about some of the appointments, some of the statements of the appointment, people being appointed have made. And so, you know, the president cares most about his family. Former president cares most about his family. We know that he cares most about his family. And he must have felt that his family was going to be targeted. And it's a shame that this has happened. But I'm not a fan of the pardons because now the precedent is set from now into the future.
And Republicans may well say, for a president who lectures Republicans all the time about due process and the rule of law, he's not even allowing that to play out to protect his family members, which will encourage them to assume the worst.
So I'll take it a step forward, right? I mean, you know, 4 years from now, I mean, it's a long time from now, obviously, but if the President Trump feels that he wants to pardon his family on the way out the door, right, now Democrats can't say anything about that. And so that's what I mean about the precedent that is set here. Wish it didn't have to happen, but we have weaponized the House. We have weaponized these committees. There's enough blame to go around on both sides on that. But what's gone on in oversight is not real. It's all been a farce. It's all been a show. Okay, again, they were never trying to impeach the president, or if they were, it was the worst attempt you've ever seen. But they did remove their own speaker and almost remove a second speaker. So, you know, listen, who knows with these guys? But at the end of the day, it's unfortunate that these pardons happen today.
What about the pardons for Mark Milley, the January 6th committee and staff, and Dr. Fauci?
Yeah, again, right, it falls in the same vein, which is I don't know what the president was thinking, but clearly he was concerned about statements that were made about some of the people who are going to wind up in some of these positions if confirmed. Again, I don't like these pardons. I don't like these preemptive pardons. You know, these are pardons of people who have not committed any crimes. They've not been adjudicated of any crimes. It's all preemptive. And so, yes, this is another norm that falls here in Washington, and there will be repercussions from this. But again, we didn't get here just by accident. We got here based on statements and threats that have been made against these people. The president has the power to pardon who he wants. He felt he needed to use that. You know, I find it all unfortunate.
You're one of the Democrats associated with the Department of Government Efficiency, or at least the idea around it. We keep hearing that Vivek Ramaswamy is soon to leave that process. Is that process stronger or weaker without Ramaswamy?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I've read the reports that he's leaving and maybe running for the governor of Ohio. I mean, at the end of the day, this is going to have to be a bipartisan process. They feel that they want to mandate, and electorally, I think President Trump probably did that. But in the House, there's no mandate. They have a 3-vote majority. That's not a mandate. And they fight amongst themselves. So they're going to have to work with Democrats. I'm not going to fight for the status quo. Is there an American right now who's like, government's perfect, don't touch it? You know, no, of course we can try to save some money. Of course we can make things more efficient. People are waiting to get folks on Social Security on the phone for 2.5 hours, or trying to figure out how to get their VA benefits 3 hours on the phone. There's got to be a way we can streamline this, make things more efficient, and make things less expensive. That's what I'm here to do as part of the Doge Caucus. I will protect Social Security. I will protect Medicare. You know, Americans don't want cuts to their benefits. They want cuts to the bureaucracy. And so for me, I'm going to protect the benefits, but I'm not interested in protecting the bureaucracy.
In his inaugural address, President Trump talked down our ability as a federal government to respond to natural disasters. He mentioned North Carolina and California. You were an emergency management official in Florida. Do you agree with that assessment?
Yeah.
Do you think Trump is wrong to talk down the federal response?
Well, let me say this. I have the utmost respect for everyone who works at FEMA. It's a thankless job they have. It's a department that deals with disaster after disaster. These guys are working 18-hour days on end. They're burned out from all these disasters post-COVID. from COVID and then just hurricanes and fires and hurricanes and fires. These folks are America's first responders. It's a nonpartisan agency that helps people in their time of need. But I think the president is correct in this respect. I think FEMA is no longer working in Homeland. I think Homeland has become too big. It's too bureaucratic.
Homeland Security, the department.
Homeland Security is too big. It's too bureaucratic. 23 agencies are in there. I think FEMA needs to get out of Homeland so that it can get faster.
Where?
It should be its own agency reporting to the White House, as it was when it was created. It was a White House agency. It responded directly to the president. I have a bill actually in Congress to restore that. And so I do think from the response standpoint, FEMA probably isn't as fast as they used to be from a response standpoint, but I put the blame on the bureaucracy that is Homeland Security.
Do you want to lead that agency under a Trump administration?
No, look, I'm running for re-election. I'm staying in Congress. But I will say this, is that that is a nonpartisan job. And so the president should look at Democrats and Republicans. He should look at who he thinks is the most qualified. And if there were a Democratic president, I'd say the same thing. There are still some nonpartisan jobs here. We haven't politicized everything yet. But there's still some nonpartisan jobs. We should hire the most qualified person. In fact, that's what Republicans say all the time, right? The president gave a speech today that it should be merit-based. Well, then, the person who gets the FEMA job, it should be merit-based, regardless of their political party.
Florida Democratic Congressman Jared Moskowitz, I'm going to let you go back inside so you can get warm.
Thanks for having me outside, being from Florida.
And stop showing me up by being out here without a coat and gloves on.
This is a staff failure. I'll handle that.
Very good. We'll see you. Thanks.
Thank you.